My name is Robin, and welcome to English Grammar Now. Today, we're talking about the short, helpful English lesson. We're studying adjectives. First of all, what are adjectives? This is a large category of words, and they're all words that help us to describe nouns. They might describe things like appearance. For example, the attractive, clean house. Or color, that blue and yellow bike. Condition, a broken old watch. Personality, this brave, friendly boy. Sense, one loud, smelly concert. Size or shape, a lot of small square blocks. And time, some brief daily meetings. The words that are highlighted here are all adjectives, and they help us to describe different things about the nouns we're talking about. When we use adjectives in English, usually the adjective comes before the noun. There are a few exceptions which we'll look at. But normally we would say, a tall, cheerful man stopped at the corner. The man is the noun, which comes after the adjectives, tall and cheerful. We would not say, a man tall, cheerful. We want to put the adjectives before the noun in most cases. However, we do make exceptions for a few cases. That's if we're using the verb to be, if we're using sense verbs like looks, smells, or if we're using state verbs like become, seem, or appear. Here's a couple of examples. That cake smells tasty. Tasty is the adjective, and it's talking about the cake. So in this case, we have the noun, the verb smells, and then the adjective. Another example. You seem anxious. Seem is our state verb. You is the noun we're talking about, and anxious is coming at the end. So those are a few exceptions when the adjective comes after the noun, but normally adjectives come first. We can put two adjectives in front of one noun if we'd like. If we're using two adjectives, we can put a comma in between them, or use and. For example, we could say the distant, empty island, or the calm and cold lake. However, if we're using two adjectives that are working together, then we do not use a comma. We just put the two adjectives and then the noun. What this means is, sometimes the adjectives need to stay in the same order. We cannot change the order because of how it's describing the noun. For example, if I said the bright green spider, green is describing the spider. The spider is green. Bright is describing the kind of green. It's describing the green spider as a whole. So we could not change the order of those words and say the green bright spider. We have to keep them in the same order. Another example, the tough English exam. Exam is the noun. The type of exam is that it's an English exam. Now those two words are together, and to say that it is tough is an extra thing. So, the English exam is tough. We could not change the order of those words. It wouldn't make sense. The English tough exam. So in cases like these, we don't put any comma between the two adjectives. Now you try. See if you can find the correct place in these sentences to put the adjective that is at the end. Make sure to look for where the noun is that it's describing. Go ahead, give it a try. Here's the answers to those questions. Number 1, It looks cold outside. In this case, we're using the verb looks. What we're describing is it. So this is one of those cases where the adjective comes after the verb, after the noun. Number 2. They live in one of those modern apartments. Apartments is the noun. Modern, the adjective, comes before it. Number 3. Those flowers smell amazing. Amazing is describing the flowers, but we also have the verb smell in here. So we could say those amazing flowers, but because we're using the verb smell, the adjective comes after it. Number 4. This town has some interesting historical buildings. Number 5. Did you see that new movie? And number 6. Look at those dark clouds. You can see that we use a lot of different adjectives to describe different kinds of things. They are really useful words to know. Let's talk for a minute about the order of our adjectives. When we add more than one adjective onto a noun, we have a particular order that we use. This is for adjectives where there is no comma between. They are all working together to describe a noun. So let's take a look at what order they should be in. First, we start with any determiners. That could be the, a, an, or this, that, these, or those. Then we add adjectives that are describing our opinion about something. An example might be ugly. Then we add size adjectives like small or big. Then we put shapes like square. After that comes age. We could say old or young or a few other words. Then comes color. And after that, origin, material, and purpose. Origin is where something comes from. Material is what it's made out of. And purpose is what it's for. Of course, we will never add all these adjectives at one time, but if we use 2 or even 3, this is the order that they will come in. If we used all of them, it would sound like the ugly, small, square, old, blue, French silk sports jacket. That's a few too many adjectives, isn't it? Sometimes we use other kinds of words as adjectives. We can use a noun to describe another noun, for example. In this sentence, you can see that. The face masks are recyclable. Face is a noun, but so is mask. So face is being used as an adjective. Take a look at the next sentence. I'll take it to the computer shop tomorrow. Or, I just love the autumn colors. These words are all nouns, but we're using them as adjectives in these sentences. Sometimes we also put 2 words together to make what we call a compound adjective. You'll notice these because there's a dash in the middle. Here's some examples. The 4-foot table. The cross-country skiing trip. What a good-looking family. We're front page news. These are not words you need to memorize or learn a lot of, but if you do see one, you'll know that it's an adjective. We're putting together 2 words to help us describe the noun that comes after it. One thing we need to be careful of, because it can be a little confusing, is when we have 2 adjectives that have a very similar meaning, but different in the way we use them. Take a look at these sentences and see if you can see the difference in the adjective. The first one, the concert was so boring, is different from the concert made me bored. You can see that there's an ing ending on one of them and an ed ending on the other. Another example, This documentary is interesting. I'm interested in this documentary. These words sound the same sometimes, and it's easy to get confused. So let's talk about how to remember what the meaning of these is. If you want an easy way to remember which of these has which meaning, remember it like this. Something is interesting. Me, you, and Ted are interested. The meaning of this is that an adjective that ends with ing is talking about a thing or a noun. But if it ends with ed, it's talking about how it makes a person feel. It changes our emotions into a certain way. So if we say, the concert was so boring, we're talking about the thing, which is the concert. If we say, the concert made me bored, we're talking about my feelings. The concert was boring, but it changed my feelings, so now I'm bored. If we say, the documentary is interesting, we're talking about the quality of the documentary. But we could say, I'm interested in the documentary, which is how I feel about that thing. So be careful to remember which adjectives have which meaning. Here's a way for us to practice the ing or ed endings in adjectives. Take a look at these and try to choose the correct one for each sentence. Be sure to read carefully to see if it's talking about a thing or how it makes a person feel. Go ahead, give it a try. Here's the answers to those questions. Number 1. I'm thrilled for our trip to the amusement park. It's talking about my feelings, so we use the ed ending. Number 2. That workout was exhausting. The workout is a thing, so we use the ing ending. Number 3. Did you hear the news? It's shocking. Number 4. Everyone said this class was boring. Number 5. I can't eat any more. I'm satisfied. Number 5. The ceremony was canceled, which is disappointing. Great job. Let's take a look at a place where we might use a lot of adjectives, an advertisement. If someone was trying to sell this tea set, here's what they might write. Adorable antique tea set. Includes teapot and 4 matching teacups with saucers. All are beautifully decorated with hand-painted small pink flowers and delicate leaves. All the pieces are in good condition and have been cleaned. Price is negotiable. Here you can see some of the adjectives highlighted. We can use adjectives to describe so many different things about nouns. It really makes our language more interesting and descriptive. I hope you enjoyed practicing using adjectives with me. I look forward to seeing you again next time. Goodbye!